There's a few steps to creating a blog post with AI, just like there is to create a blog post if you're not using AI. So we're going to dive straight in how to create an AI blog post. There's a few steps here. It starts with picking a topic, and then we look at actually creating SEO tips, or we look at using AI for tips about how to do SEO. Then we can use AI to create an outline. We can use it to do research. We can actually use it to do writing, drafting sections of your post, including introductions, body paragraphs, and conclusions. Editing, this is a big one. After we actually do the writing with AI, we can have it do some editing, which is simply offering suggestions for improving the clarity, grammar, and the style. Headlines and titles, once we have written it all and we look at it, can we make those better? And then, of course, number 8 down here is help generate ideas and images that could accompany your post, meaning you could add those to your post. Where did I get those ideas? It seems pretty meta, but I got those ideas from ChatGPT. How can you help me write a blog post? Now, to write a blog post, you do need a starting point. Here is my new Keyword Explorer tool. This is Keyword Gap. I talked about finding the gap between you and your competition in this video right here the other day. Check that out. But simply inside of a keyword tool, and it's not required, but it does help. And this sort of sets apart people that just think that they can just use AI from people that think that they don't need AI, and people that are bound and determined to find a keyword tool to show them the keyword that's going to get them all the traffic. In this example, Proverbs about space. If you scroll down here, you can see this is pretty standard keyword stuff. There is part of this, it's called Insights. And in Insights, I found these additional keywords. Does the Bible talk about space? And does the Bible mention space? Which I'm going to use to continue or to create another blog post using AI around Proverbs about space. But before we go on, I want to show you or step back and take a look at the idea or the concept of keyword gaps. What do you need for me to find keyword gaps for my blog and the competition? I think this is very important. I made that video on it. It's in the cards, link in the description. However, the actual process of keyword gap analysis typically involves SEO tools and analyzing data, which may be limited in this environment, but I could still offer guidance, or it says right here, let me highlight it. I can still offer guidance and methodologies on how to approach this task. So with that, taking or stepping away from the idea of the keyword research tool, other than it's just another place to find ideas, but inside of AI, or specifically ChatGPT, which is the tool that I use, there's tons of other tools. I found a GPT that is topical authority for SEO GPT generator, or it is the topical authority for SEO GPT generator. All you have to do is give it your niche. In this case, you are supposed to give it your niche or your main topic. What I did is I gave it a keyword because I just wanted to see the topical authority map or the topical authority pillar pages that it would generate. And you can see here, it generated some pillar pages, astronomical. You'll know if you watch the AI 100 Days of AI blogging case study. When I came to that word, I messed it up so many times. Astronomical phenomenon in Proverbs, space exploration milestone in Proverbs, the moon and myth in Proverbs. But you get the idea about what we're looking for here for Proverbs in space, or Proverbs about space. But moving on to do this a little differently, and the way that I've been doing it, especially for a specific keyword, is please list 30 LSI keywords that are closely related to Proverbs about space, and then use those keywords to create a blog post outline to include a blog post title that fully covers the topic of the keyword. Then it dives in, it gives you some more information about what it's going to do. It lists the latent semantic indexing keywords. I think I got LSI right, but it lists those effectively synonyms, right? Or other points and keywords and other topics or subtopics inside of that keyword that you would want to list. And it lists 30 of those. And then it takes those LSI keywords and then it writes the introduction, or it writes the outline for your blog post. Now, with this, I have my outline for my blog post, but I didn't want to use ChatGPT. I want to do what everyone else wants to do. I want to push a button and let the AI write it for me once I generate all this topic. If you were to just tell ChatGPT to write a blog post using this outline, it's going to be very, very thin, and you would need to break it out. And I've done this, and I showed you in the case study, the 100 days of blogging, how to do that, how I did it. So all that's freely available, as well as there's a link in the description to my AI blogging course. But the idea and the concept here is, let's just take this outline. So while I'm using AI, I just went ahead and said, what prompt would I give you to get the format of the outline in this format? Basically, the headline and then the subtopics or the H3s. So this would be the H2, these would be the H3s with just one indentation. And the reason that I did that is because if you go to the original blog post, Universe Unriddled, Proverbs about space, wisdom beyond the earth, one of the things that I want to do, and also before I get ahead of myself, I want to show you how I created this blog post and the fact that this bulleted list of points or this bulleted list of proverbs was created after the fact, after the push button software I'm about to show you wrote this article. I came back and I enhanced the article with this bulleted point of proverbs. So the idea here is what we were looking for from our keyword research was the word Bible, and the book of Proverbs in the Bible, for instance, touches upon the grand scheme of creation. Now understand that my site is about these things, is about Proverbs, astronomy, astrology, and also things like ancient aliens. So this idea of creating this content around the Bible makes sense for me. Of course, you can use ChatGPT to flesh out those ideas and go back to that topical authority generator. And as you can see, if I was to put Proverbs about space in there, then you can see that one of the things is space in literature and Proverbs. Well, literature is the Bible. I don't know that it directly mentions the Bible here in this list of topics, but you get the idea when it talks about space in literature. One of the most important books in literature is the Bible. So again, we go back to that and we're looking at that. The tool that I'm going to use, or the tool that I want to show you, Proverbs about space, wisdom beyond the earth. If you click details when you're inside a Koala Writer after it has written it, you can click details and you can see all the details that you used to set it up, to include the extra entities prompt, which are basically the LSI keywords that I want to make sure that the article hits upon, which again came from ChatGPT and this list of LSI keywords, and then of course the blog post, then of course the format here where it listed the outline that I want to use to write the blog post, because Koala Writer will generate a blog post, but I didn't want to regenerate the blog post or regenerate the outline for this blog post. So what I did is I put in the extra outline prompt. I put in the outline in the format that Koala wants it, and Koala wants it like this. They want the H2 and then they want it indented with each of the subtopics or the H3. That's all I did, is I put that in there, and then I came down here and I continued a little further, or this is where you see the prompt, or this is where you see where I broke out. If you go back to the article, and we'll get rid of the Bible search there. If you go back to this article, Koala wrote this article, and you can see here inside of the Koala article, we get rid of this article details. Inside of the Koala article, that information, that bulleted list is not in the Koala article. So I did that with ChatGPT, and inside of ChatGPT, I went ahead and just said up here, you got to go through all this. Perfect, now give me a list of Proverbs from the blog post and format them in a nice list with the meaning for at-a-glance reader. That is, search for this keyword and give it a good subtitle to identify the reader, or to identify to the reader exactly what it is. Then I just pasted the article in, so it just looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, but it's the HTML of the article of the blog post that came from Koala Writer. Then you can see it created a list here. I didn't like the way that it created it, so I said, okay, good, put them all under one H2. Then it came back and it gave me that primary H2, or that title. Remember, that was one of the things that we talked about back under our How to Create AI blog post ideas, was creating headlines and titles. So when we're creating headlines and titles, or crafting compelling titles and headlines to attract readers, down here at number 7, and our next step being to move into creating images, we could do all that with AI, and you see exactly how that did that, or how it did that here, and how we were able to move forward with the information that you see here. So next up is actually pushing one button to create it. And then at that point, it's going to take us into Koala Writer, and we're going to go through Universe Unriddled. We're going to select GPT-4 Turbo. We're going to create a blog post. We're going to go back to our keyword tool because the keyword that we're going to go after is, does the Bible talk about space? So does the Bible talk about space? We would just highlight that and copy that keyword. We'd go back to Koala. We'd put our target keyword in there. Here we can use the default SEO optimization. You can see default will naturally be optimized, but there will not be any SERP analysis done. Manual, you can specify a list of keywords like I did in that proverb article where I use the list or the LSI keywords that ChatGPT generated or AI powered. In this case, I'm going to go with AI powered. And you can see here, AI powered, we will analyze top ranking pages and extract up to 100 topically relevant keywords and entities to use in this article. This results in a much more comprehensive article that has a better chance of ranking. We're going to use the internal linking, the automatic internal linking function. We are going to use images. We're going to go with illustrations. I had been using fantasy for a while, also use photo premium quality, but I found illustrations I'm really starting to like. We're going to go with 15 of those or maximize 15 of them. We'll use the default image size. There are different image sizes here. And then we're going to go down and include key takeaways, facts, use the outline editor, and use real-time data. We'll go up and we'll verify this again, that we have everything in place to include the internal linking. Sometimes I forget that. There is actually a presets up here. I don't know why I've never taken the time to set this, but you can set it there, and it would probably save me a little time down the road, or you as well, and we're going to go ahead and select Create Outline. Now remember back in our concept here, how to create AI blog posts, we looked at picking a topic selection. Of course, the topic would be for the blog post itself, or like we looked at, creating that topical authority list using that GPT. And then we moved into SEO tips. Again, SEO tips are good. You can get those LSI keywords. It can generate those keywords based upon using the language model that it is to generate words that match, that make sense in the realm of LSI or synonyms or words that are closely related to the keyword that you're going for. But the outline creation, we saw that in ChatGPT as well, but Koala is going to do that for us. It's going to do the research, and you saw that when we clicked, it's going to go out and do research in the SERPs. It's going to draft sections, include introductions, body paragraphs, and conclusions. Then editing, of course, the editing function here, we can then edit using GPT or ChatGPT, and we do that, or I do that, and I've showed you many times how I do that. Headlines and titles, of course, we looked at creating some of those or prettying those up or making them more compelling. And then images, Koala is going to generate some images, but you can also do that in ChatGPT and DALL-E. So we'll go back to Koala, we'll take a look and see what it's come up with. It came up with an introduction, an H2 here, theological context of space in the Bible, the creation narrative, frequently asked questions, some sections that I like to add a summary. And in the summary, I like to make that a wrap up of the post. So I'll go ahead and I will save that. Also like to add here because it applies to my blog and I've been doing this to interconnect and it's directly related to the content that I'm creating. So you'll want to do this as well. You want to add these sections. And again, you could do this with ChatGPT to give you ideas. And once you get ideas, then you'll have to manually do this. So while this is push button, the point and the focus of creating AI, or the way that I think you should use AI, is do it like this, where you create these extra sections. Here, I'm creating ancient alien theories. And specifically for me, I wanted to focus on these two books. So I make sure that this article gets linked to the reviews and the other posts that I have here on Universe Unriddled about Chariots of the Gods, as well as my subcategory or my category of ancient aliens. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and a few other keywords here that I've added about ancient aliens and biblical passages. Of course, all this applies directly to my blog and my keyword. And of course, we need to move this up, and we're going to move this up above the frequently asked questions. So you can see how I've generated all this using AI, an AI tool specifically like Koala Writer, also ChatGPT. You saw how I created that bulleted point or those list of bulleted list. Or, man, my tongue is tied and I'm talking too fast, to say that I created, or I paused and I slowed down like I should be doing with you here right now. And I said to the AI, look, great blog post a Koala Writer created for me, or this is what I'm thinking. Now to ChatGPT, I went ahead and said, go ahead and pull out all the proverbs or pull out a series of proverbs, put them in a nice bulleted pointed list where people can identify them early on in the article and then get that benefit early on from reading it, kind of like key takeaways that we've seen other people do or that has become really prominent in blog posts, specifically from using tools like Koala Writer and AI. But even before then, the idea and the concept there was to, and we're not supposed to be doing this, but to write for the search engine so it would show Google exactly what they're looking for. But also on the other side of that coin was people are interested in key takeaways. People are interested in getting information quickly. And of course, if people are searching, we get those key takeaways up front. They find exactly what they're looking for, maybe click through to another link and stay on our blog, or it just solves their query. Or if we're sending them from social media, all things like that, just to pause, slow it down, bring it all into what we're actually using AI to create this blog post for, and that is to get people helpful information to satisfy their search intent or their curiosity. So back to Koala Writer and what we've done here, we've created an outline, introduction, H2, H3, H2, the one that I added, the frequently asked questions that it's going to come up with. This is basically like people also ask if you do a search on Google, and then my summary. And then at that point, we're simply just going to click write article. And Koala is going to start writing the article, starting with the headline. It's going to add some text. Here it's generating an image. I'm okay with that image. It looks pretty good. Again, is illustration. But going back to where we started, how to create AI blog post or how to create an AI blog post, first you need to select the topic. You have to have an idea of what you want to write about. You can use ChatGPT, for example, and I showed this throughout the videos here on the channel, throughout the 100-day case study and also the AI update, but you have to select a topic. It can give you SEO tips or advice on keywords and phrases. It will do or it will create your outline. It will do the research for you. It will effectively do the writing for you. Then you can use it to edit like you saw with those list of proverbs that I put in bulleted pointed format or made a bulleted list using that format. And then you can see also headlines and titles, crafting compelling titles and headlines to attract readers, to get more people to click if they find you or when they find you in the search engines. Also in those H2 and H3s, make them compelling to keep them reading, and then of course help generate ideas as well as the images themselves to accompany your post. Again, I know I was talking fast in this one. Typically when I get excited about a post or I get excited about creating a blog post and I'm trying to create the blog post and I want to make you a video to show you what I'm excited about, I get a little jazzed up. Hopefully you felt the passion come through for what it is I'm doing here, because I want you to get on board with this as well, because it does work, it will work. The idea and the concept of AI content not working is if you just try to shortcut the shortcut and you get lazy about it and you just tell ChatGPT or any other AI out there and you go push the button on Koala and you're like, copy paste, okay, next one, copy paste, okay, next one, copy paste. I have 100 articles. When am I going to start ranking? You didn't take the time to really understand your topic. You didn't take time to understand how it's all supposed to interconnect. You didn't take time to be honest with yourself and honest about the fact that you're interested in the content that you're creating, and that's going to shine through and actually help people that find your content. And that is the point of a blog. Always has been, always will be. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.